that do stuff like that?
Well, to be honest with you, Baba, as the self-hate relates to me and the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy campaign, honestly, I'm kind of numb to it. And I'm kind of numb to it because I've been dealing with it since we first started the fundraiser back in April of 2014. If you can remember, what started this entire process was an attempt to purchase HBCU St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia, when it was put up for auction back in April of 2014. And so when I heard about that, I initially went to work to try to raise the funds to secure the HBCU St. Paul's campus. And from the very beginning, struggle streamers from YouTube, other haters, disgruntled former associates, black bourgeoisies, rainbow gangers, everybody, they contacted the auction company and they tried to prevent them from accepting our bid. We wasn't able to raise enough money anyway, so it ultimately didn't matter one way or the other, but I'm just bringing it up to let you know that the hate is as old as the project. It's not a new thing. I think in some respects it's gotten worse because the closer we get to the finish line, the more intense the opposition becomes, but I always like to keep it in perspective by saying that for every enemy of the program, there's a million supporters. The difference between the haters and the congratulators are that the congratulators are mature people with emotional intelligence and self-control. The haters are immature people without emotional intelligence and without self-control. The congratulators, the supporters, and the donors, they have a life. They have things to do. So they're not consumed with the day-to-day happenings of FDMG because they trust in our team and they trust in me. As opposed to the detractors, they don't have anything to do except make YouTube videos. They have no life. They have no goals. They have no agenda for themselves, no purpose. So they can spend all day, every day, talking about FDMG, slandering. I've heard more lies from people this month than I've heard in 11 years. Like the clips that people send me, because I don't watch the stuff. I can't watch it because it'll force me to respond. If I watch a hater's video, Baba, I'll be forced to respond. It's hard to sit there and just hear lie after lie after lie and not say anything. So I don't listen. But people do send me clips that they think are very important for me to take note of. But just getting back to my point, I'm so used to it that that's not the issue for me. The issue for me, Baba, today, as we sit here on the final day of Black August 2025, which August the 31st was declared by the Right Excellent Most Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and the UNIA in Harlem, New York City, August of 1920, August the 31st, the final day of Black August was declared an international holiday for all African people throughout the entire world. And so this is a day that we celebrate being African. This is a day we celebrate being proud to be African, as this day was set aside by the Garveyites of August of 1920 as an international holiday. Now, with that being said, I want to briefly, Baba, give you a summary of the war. I'm going to call it a war because I believe the city government of Wilmington and the Negro bureaucracy has declared war on the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. I absolutely believe that. Let me give you a quick timeline. In October of 2024, I emailed the Secretary for Vacant Properties for the city of Wilmington, Delaware. I was requesting a waiver because in the city of Wilmington, if you are a 501 nonprofit organization, you can get a one-time 4-year waiver, so you don't have to pay the vacant property registration fee, which is $5,000 per year. So I requested a waiver on October the 14th of 2024. The Secretary for Vacant Properties responded, and she said, if you get a bill on November the 1st, which is 2 weeks later, October 14th, she says on November the 1st, if you get a bill, you can apply for the waiver, and you need to include the bill number, the bill amount, and any evidence that you are working on this building. Well, Baba, on October 14th, I already asked for the waiver. I already asked for it. So there's no need for me to submit a new one on November the 1st because you have it right here, right now. But because she didn't want to process my waiver, she didn't want to put it through, so she says, you have to do it again, basically, and add the bill number and the amount and any evidence that you're working on the school. Now, to the evidence, Baba, the electricity, the plumbing, and the HVAC has already been repaired, inspected, and approved by L&I for more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's asking for proof of renovation, the renovations are done, the major ones. We're just dealing with the superficials right now, and the only thing left is the floor. We got to retile the floor, Baba. That's it. So if I already sent you an application for a waiver, why did you not process it? Why did you tell me I got to resubmit it again on November the 1st with the bill number and the amount? You already know the bill number because the bill comes from you.
Mm-hmm.
You already know the amount comes from you. So basically, Baba, she didn't want to process our waiver. And because she didn't want to process our waiver, she said it had to be resubmitted once I get a bill in the mail with the bill number and the bill amount, as opposed to just processing the waiver and adding the bill number and the bill amount to it. Keep in mind, Baba, all city offices are in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. So if she needed to get something from finance, she could go downstairs or just pick up the phone. So this is what you call being difficult. So anyway, let's continue. That's October. On March the 7th, I get a letter saying that we may sell your property. We may go to Superior Court to get a judgment against you and put a sheriff lien and possible sheriff sale against your property if you don't satisfy this amount that you owe us. The amount at the time, Baba, was about $70,000.
Wow.
Let me tell you what it was for. $30,000 was for water. Baba, we don't use no water because nobody is in the school. I want the listeners to understand me. The city of Wilmington is trying to defunct our school through nonsense fees. I'm going to say it again. The city government of Wilmington, Delaware, and the Negro bureaucracy, and I'm saying the Negro bureaucracy because most of the people who are sabotaging us look just like us.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to be very clear about this. Even though the mayor is Caucasian, he don't really have nothing to do with this. This is all Negro. Now, the L&I commissioner, I believe he's a Latino gentleman. He's the only person involved in this who's not black. Everybody else sabotaging us is black. So let's look at this, Baba. $30,000 in water. We get our water bill every month for both schools, because remember, we got two.
Mm-hmm.
Our water bill combined every month is about $3,000. Baba, we don't use no water.
Mm-mm.
We don't use no water. But I'm being told you still have to pay this because of sewage and rain. In other words, when it rains and the water runs off of our building into the drain, we got to pay for that.
Mm.
So $30,000. So they say you got to satisfy this bill, Baba. This is a letter dated March the 7th. You got to satisfy this bill, or we're going to get a judgment against you in Superior Court, and we're going to do a sheriff lien and sale. Right? March 7th. So guess what I do, Baba? We pay off the $30,000 in water that we should not owe because we don't use any water. We pay it off. The whole thing. Boom! That's out. So what are we left with, Baba? We're left with vacant property registration fees, which are $5,000 a year, and we owe them for 3 years. So that's $15,000 for the Frederick Douglass High School. That's $15,000 for the Marcus Garvey Elementary School. So that's $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever was left after that, Baba, that's just little hit and miss fees. That ain't nothing. So basically, you were dealing with water and vacant property, neither of which we should owe. Why? Because we don't use no water. And as far as vacant property goes, Baba, they should have retroactively applied our 4-year vacant property registration fee. And if they would have retroactively applied it, Baba, we would have owed zero. So we just paid the city of Wilmington, Delaware, $70,000 in nonsense fees. Now, it gets worse, Baba. Guess what they decided in 2023? The City Council of Wilmington in 2023 decided to raise the vacant property registration fee. If your building has been vacant for 5 years, they decided in 2023 to raise the vacant property registration fee from $5,000 to $12,000.
Wow.
So what that means, Baba, if we don't get a waiver, and I'm telling y'all right now, if we don't get a waiver, we're going to have to march. This is going to have to be a protest. Because what they're doing to us is unfair and it's unjust. And we'll get to that in a minute. But if we don't get the vacant property registration fee waiver for 2025, and that bill comes out November the 1st, that's $12,000 for the Garvey building. That's $12,000 for the Douglas building. Baba, that's $24,000 more dollars.
Wow.
On top of the 70. Do you know what that means? In 1 year, we would have paid the city of Wilmington government almost $100,000 on nonsense fees, Bob. Nonsense. And I'm calling them nonsense because we shouldn't have to pay them at all as a nonprofit building a school to improve a neighborhood that is impoverished. This is crazy. $30,000 in water. We don't use no water. $30,000 on back vacant property registration. We should have had our waiver. And now y'all jumped the price up from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year going forward, which means we will owe $25,000 at the end of this year for vacant property. That's 70 and 25. That's $95,000 we just threw away on nonsense fees.
Was the water being metered?
The water is metered, and when you look at the meter, Baba, because we're not in there, it shows no usage. It shows no usage. But again, I was told when it rains, the water runs off your building into the drain. You have to pay for storm water and sewage.
Wow.
So we don't have no sewage.
But how do they measure that?
It's a set. I think it's a set amount. I don't know how they do it. It is a mystery. I still don't understand.
Yeah.
It is a mystery. How can you owe that much money for water and y'all don't even use any water?
Wow.
Complete mystery. And then the vacant property registration fee, why y'all raise that up? Why y'all raise that up from $5,000 to $12,000? I'll tell you why they raised it up. Because they're trying to gentrify the city. They're trying to take as many properties from black people as they possibly can and give them to Caucasians. That's why. And I want the brothers and sisters in Wilmington, Delaware, if there's any movement in that city to fight against gentrification, to stop black people from getting their property stolen, count me in. Count me in. I can't get involved as the head of FDMG, but I can definitely get involved as an activist because what they did to us is wrong. So let me give you the rest of this, Baba, and I'm going to be quick on this.
Take your time.
So we get the letter March the 7th. I automatically contact the secretary for delinquent accounts. I contact the secretary for delinquent accounts. I say, yo, I got this letter. Are y'all about to sheriff sell our school? I said, listen, I'm going to try to get the vacant property registration fee waiver retroactively applied. She said, we haven't moved on this yet. You still got some time. Do what you can. So I call up to the Secretary of Vacant Property, which is an L&I. Vacant Property is within L&I. I asked her, I say, is there any way y'all can make an exception for us and retroactively apply this vacant property registration fee because we just paid $30,000 in water. This is going to be another $30,000 in vacant property registration fee. Our money comes from the people. We don't accept government funding. We do not accept funding from outside the community, and this is draining us of money we need for repairs, operations, so forth and so on. She said, send me what you can. Send me some pictures of the school showing that the work has been done. She said, I'm going to see if we can do anything about this. This is what she tells me on the phone, Baba. She doesn't call me back, so I'll call her back. In fact, I was harassing her. I probably called her at least 6 times. I emailed her April the 1st. She did not respond. I emailed her April the 4th. She did not respond. I emailed her April the 7th. She did not respond. I emailed her April the 16th. She did not respond. And after every email, I called her to get an update on the status of the possibility of them retroactively applying our vacant property registration fee 4-year waiver for nonprofits. Are you with me so far, Bob?
I'm following it.
Okay. On the phone, Baba, she's telling me she's going to get me an answer. But she's never calling me back, and she doesn't respond to a single email. I want to say something right now, Baba, that is key to this whole story. And I need your listeners to understand this. Because the deputy chief of staff for the city of Wilmington responded to a random YouTuber who doesn't even live in Delaware.
A YouTuber.
The deputy chief of staff responded to an inquiry from a random YouTube hater of mine who doesn't even live in the state of Delaware.
But would respond to you.
Yes, he responded to the YouTuber, not to me. And he told her he lied on me. He lied on me. He told the YouTuber that what I had said with regard to how the city was handling us was not true. He also told the YouTuber that between April and August, that the Department of Finance had followed up with me, Baba, on multiple attempts.
Wow.
Multiple attempts from the Finance Department to collect the debt. Baba, listen to me. We received no correspondence from anybody or any department in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. We heard from nobody from that March the 7th letter until the sheriff put that monition on our door August the 8th. That is 5 months, Baba. March the 7th to August the 8th. That is 5 months exactly.
If they had responded, they would have had a paper trail.
Nobody. Say that again.
If they had responded, they would have had a paper trail.
Thank you. Show me where y'all responded. Baba, they basically ignored us for 5 months. Completely ignored us. We got no follow-up letter or email. We got no follow-up bill or email. We got no follow-up threat or email. We got no 90-day notice, no 60-day notice, no 30-day notice. Nobody said we're going to Superior Court or Sheriff on August the 5th. Nobody, Baba. We heard nothing from the city of Wilmington for 5 straight months, but the deputy chief of staff goes and emails a YouTuber and lies on us, talking about there was multiple follow-up attempts from the finance department regarding the fee. That's a damn lie. There were no follow-up attempts because we heard from nobody. The only thing we got in the mail, Baba, from March the 7th until August the 8th, when the sheriff put that sign on our door, were the water bills.
Wow.
All we got was the automatically generated water bills. Nothing else about a sheriff's sale, nothing else about a lien. Now check this out, Bob. One of the reasons I took issue with the deputy chief of staff's email to this random YouTuber is not only did he lie and claim that there were multiple follow-ups with us when we heard from nobody about anything from March the 7th until August the 8th when the sheriff put that sign on our door, but this is also a pattern with the city of Wilmington with regard to the FDMG Academy, Baba. They give out our information to anybody who calls.
Wow.
There's no privacy. There's no confidentiality. There's no discretion. Anybody who calls that city with questions about the school, they will tell them all of our business. This is how most of the haters have gotten the school's information, because they voluntarily share information with people who don't even live in the city of Wilmington. They don't even live in the state of Delaware, and they just share our information.
Is it public information, though?
Say that again.
Is it public information?
Some of it is public, but not all of it is public. You see. And in this case, Baba, he told a blatant lie. He told a blatant lie. He said from April to August, I'm quoting him from the YouTube video that somebody sent me, because I didn't even know that he was communicating with a YouTube hater. He said, quote, from April through August, multiple follow-up attempts from the finance department regarding the outstanding fees. Baba, we heard from nobody at all about anything from the city of Wilmington from March the 7th until August the 8th. 5 whole months.
Well, would that be defamation? And a lot of people, not a lot, but some people have asked me, what about your legal counsel and advice? What have they been saying?
I'm working on that. And the reason I'm working on that, Baba, is I don't think this is going to stop until we push back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to continue to play games with us. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to continue to be hostile towards us. They're going to continue to be negligent towards us, and they're going to continue to discriminate against us. So let me fast forward. So March the 7th, I get the letter. Excuse me, the letter was mailed March the 7th. I probably got it the last week of March, first week of April. I immediately called the Secretary of Delinquent Accounts. She said, see what L&I has to say. It comes from them, not us. We just carry it out. I talked to the Secretary of Vacant Property. She tells me she's going to give me a call back. She's going to look into this and see what they can do. Now, what they're saying, Baba, is they don't retroactively apply vacant property registration fee waivers, right? I can understand that. But I asked for a one-time exemption. Mm-hmm. If you can't give it to me, just say that so we can move on.
Right.
I want to make this point very clear, Bob, because what they're leaving out, because they're saying, well, we don't apply it retroactively. The man asked you if you could do it this one time because they just paid $30,000 in water, and instead of just telling us, no, we're not going to do it. You either have to pay it or get a payment plan. But we're not going to. Baba, she completely ignored me. Like I told you, I emailed her April 1st. She did not respond to my email. I emailed her April 4th. She did not respond to my email. I emailed her April 7th. She did not respond to my email. I emailed her April 16th. She did not respond to my email. I spoke to her on the phone at least a half dozen times, and each time she said she would get back to me with an answer. And guess what, Baba? That turned into 5 months. No response.
Wow.
5 months, no response. And then the Secretary of Delinquent Accounts, because what I did was I sent the email to the Chief of Staff of the Mayor, not the Deputy Chief of Staff. The man who sent this email to the YouTubers, Baba, he ain't got nothing to do with nothing because I didn't include him in the correspondence. So you speaking about things you know nothing about, and you are being untruthful and dishonest and blatantly lying in what you are saying. So he wasn't even in the email trail. It was the Deputy Chief of Staff. It was the Commissioner for L&I. It was the Secretary for Delinquent Accounts and the Secretary for Vacant Properties. So I emailed them and I asked 3 questions, Baba. And guess what? Nobody has answered the questions yet.
Wow.
They answered everything but my question. These are the 3 questions. Why didn't the Secretary of Vacant Properties respond to my constant emails and constant phone calls seeking clarity, Baba?
They never
seeking
answered.
clarity. And I got none. I asked why. Were we not due a response? How are we supposed to do things the right way if you can't even pick up a phone and return a voicemail? You can't even return an email. I asked, why did we get no response for 5 months? I got no answer. And then I asked, why didn't we get any follow-up mail, Baba, from March to August about the sheriff link? Because here's what I was thinking, Baba. My thought was this. They're not responding to my emails. They're not responding to my phone calls. So because we paid $30,000 in water, half the debt was paid, I assume they're going to leave us alone. Does that make sense to you, Baba?
I would have thought, but you know, if they are in a state of war, they want you to fail.
I want you to follow my logical.
Yeah, okay.
In other words, the person responsible for handling this for us refused to call us back and refused to respond to an email for 5 months.
Yeah, they have begun their cover-up.
You're clear on that, because they're not addressing that at all. The L&I commissioner completely ignored the question. The chief of staff for the mayor completely ignored the question. The secretary for vacant property, who's the one responsible for ignoring me, she ignored the question. And the secretary for delinquent accounts, it was not her responsibility, because all she does is carry out, you know, whatever is owed, she got to carry it out and collect that debt. Where I took issue with her at, respectively, is because in her email, she says she told me that they had initiated sheriff sale process on the phone. No, she did not. That was not true. That was not true. She told, and I have the email to prove it.
Because in the email she sent me, the email is there. She says, I'm waiting to hear back from L&I, just like you are, to see what we're going to do, because I was going back and forth between the two secretaries, Baba, telling the Secretary of Delinquent Accounts that the Secretary of Vacant Property said she's going to look into this and get back to me. So she says, okay, you know what I mean? Let's just see what she says. I said, should I pay anything? I got the emails, Baba. Should I pay anything right now? She says, hold off until we get an answer from them. Baba, we never got an answer from them.
Well, and to this day, it's still no one is answering.
Oh, well, I put them in the email chain. So we've been going back and forth on the email, respectfully back and forth, but nobody's answering my question. Question one, why did I never get a response to my emails and phone calls? Question two, why was there no follow-up correspondence about the sheriff lien and sale? Baba, all they had to do was call me and say, listen, Doc, we know you paid $30,000 in water, but if we don't get that other $30,000 in vacant property, we're going to have to sell. Or send an email. Baba, David, they said nothing at all for 4 months. So now, I'm home chilling, and I start getting text messages from my supporters. Dr. Umar, the struggle streamers are on YouTube, and they have a letter claiming your school is going to be sold in 20 days if you don't pay off the full balance. So, Baba, I'm automatically thinking that this is a lie, because, you know, the YouTubers, they make up stuff all the time. They don't believe in the truth. They do not believe in the truth. They believe in views and clicks, and they will make up anything to satisfy their audience so they can get their views and clicks. So I'm thinking it's a lie, Baba. I'm like, we ain't got nothing in the mail. I just checked the mail yesterday. Baba, I was just down there. I was just down there and checked the mail. So because this could be true, I call a Garveyite sister in Wilmington, Delaware, who lives near the school. And I said, and I also text my brother Kev, and I text one of my neighbors. I text 3 people asking them to go past the school and see if there's another set of paper on the front door, because the haters, Baba, stole the set of sheriff's cell paperwork off the Frederick Douglass High School doors. They stole it and sent it to YouTube. You feel me? So that means there's another set on the Garvey building. So I hurry up and ask 3 people, can you please go past the school and see if there's another set of paperwork? I need to know if they lying or if this is true. So the good sister, bless her heart, she went and got the paper. She said, Doc, I got it. She took pictures of each page. She sent it to me, and I saw it for myself, Baba. It was real. If you don't pay off this money, we selling your school in 20 days. Baba, let me ask you a question. How did we go from April the 1st, can I get a one-time waiver exemption applied retroactively? Because if they do that, Baba, we owe nothing. She says she's going to get back to me. I don't hear from nobody from April the 1st until August the 7th. No mail comes from the March 7th letter until August the 8th. So if you're counting from the last time we received correspondence, Baba, that's March the 7th, 5 months. If you're counting from the last time I spoke to somebody on the phone, that's the first week of April, 4 months. No matter how you cut the cake. We did not hear from the city at all from 4 months to 5 months. Now, why didn't we hear from the city? Shouldn't we have gotten a warning? Shouldn't something have been sent between March the 7th and August the 8th? I don't know, Baba. What do you think?
I should have gotten some advance notice.
5 months, Baba. 5 months?
And yeah, most notices are at least 30 to 60-day notice, sometimes 90-day notice.
For Baba, the one and only letter we got dealing with this situation was dated March the 7th.